Hello and welcome to this video, guys. My name is Pros and this is a look back on the best tank I've ever used on World Tanks, which is the T29. And obviously making this video means I don't have it anymore. I've got the next tank, the T32 I think it's called. And basically, this is what I'm going to talk about if I've got a couple of tips about it, just my overall thoughts about it. And basically that's it, just looking back and explaining just some things that stood out for me with this tank, if any new things. So first going to say, like I said, it is the best tank I've used on this game. If you are on the T1 Heavy or the M6 and you're really struggling, even the M3 Lee, this is a goal to just hit, because obviously you get the achievement for tier 7 and you get a amazing tank, just an awesome bit of kit basically. It bounces shots, it's fast, just an absolute joy to use. And being tier 7, when I was using it, I didn't get into that many high level games, so I didn't get into many tier 9 games, even tier 8 games. I was quite a low level in most of them, which is awesome for me. And obviously if you get into the tier 9 games, you've got to be very careful. Just stick with maybe a higher tier, so like one of the tier 8 or tier 9 tiers, stick with them. Use a tank destroyer like to support you as well if you've got like a platoon, or just sort of ask someone to follow you or whatever. But it does handle quite well in those higher tier games. If you know weak spots on tanks, then you can just deal out decent damage over and over again. But no, I really love this tank. That's probably the only tip that I've got, is if you're in a higher level game, just be very careful, because you can get wrecked pretty easily. Obviously if you're tier 7 in your top tier, you're not going to have that big a problem. But even at tier 8, some of the heavy tanks don't do a great job unless they know where to hit you. The worst thing is when you come up against someone in the tier 8 version of this, the T32, because they obviously use the T29 lows, they know the weak spots, and they know how the tank plays. So, like I said, make sure you use this, make sure you stick with it, because it is worth it. And it is 100,000 XP to get to the T32, which is a crazy amount of XP when you think about it. But what I did is, I used the tank for a while, I got it to about 50,000 XP, and then I watched all the training videos, because you can get gold from that. So I used that gold to buy premium for a day, and then just sweated it out completely. So I managed to get to about 100,000. I was just under, so then the day after I played it for a little bit, got my 2 times and all that. So that's the best way, and it really helps that I enjoyed the tank. A lot of higher level tanks, like some tier 6 tanks, I know it's nowhere near as much XP, but they're really difficult for me to use because I just don't enjoy them that much. But this one was just a joy. And when you had I had a 5 times bonus with premium, so I was getting like 8,000. Well, my first game was like 8,000 XP, which obviously that could quite easily cover like 10 games for me at times. Like if you're having a bad run, that condenses all down into like 10 games. So I do honestly just one of the best tanks, and you've got to use it if you haven't. Obviously don't have any comparison to other heavy tanks, but I've heard a lot of people say that this is the best tier 7 tank. Obviously you got is it IS3? I'm pretty sure, I don't know if that's tier 7 or tier 8. But then you've got the Tiger and the Black Prince. I've known a couple of people who've got the Tiger. They like it, but I think the Tiger is a lot easier to penetrate, but does do a bit more damage. So, but like I said, one of the best things about this tank as well is the amount of damage, the pace of it, the how much armor it has is so difficult to penetrate. Just so many good points that makes it amazing. That's all I got to say. So yeah, if you've got this tank or if you've used it, let me know what you think about it. And yeah, I'll have my T32 video out soon, so my tips on that. So be sure to watch that video, guys, and I'll see you next time.